Hey everybody, welcome to the ranch. So today I'm in the kitchen and I am pressure canning. Now it has been my, fear for a while, but I have conquered my fear with the Nesco electric pressure canner. Okay, so what I'm doing today is not by playing by any rules of the trade, if you will. This is not done by ball standards or USDA or whatever standards they have out there. This is me canning leftovers as seen on some Facebook groups that I'm a part of, and me being a little bit of a rebel here and going with the flow. Now, I have looked up plenty of videos, I've seen plenty of different posts out there, and this could be done, so I went ahead and tried it. And now I'm hooked. So that's what I'm doing today. I am taking some roast beef and I'm going to be pressure canning them in pint jars. Now I'm only doing mine in pint jars. You can totally do them in quart jars, but I'm going to be using pint jars because that is what fits our family's needs right now. These are great for leftovers for lunches. These are great for 1 or 2 person meals, especially with my kids being homeschooled. It's really nice to have a hot lunch or something that I know is wholesome during the day, and the kids can grab it out of the pantry and do what they need to do with it. So today we're doing roast beef, and I am even putting some mashed potatoes in a few of those jars. Again, disclaimer, I am not a professional. I do not have any sort of training in this, and this is all me just doing something that works for me. If it doesn't work for you, totally fine, don't do it. But if it's something you want to try, I say go for it. Don't be afraid. Bite the bullet and put some stuff in your pantry so you're prepared if you need to be. All right, let's get started. And I'm actually teaching 2 of my boys how to do it today because it's something that I've been wanting to do, is teach my middle boys as well as Eric how to use the pressure canner because it is so easy to use. All right, let's go.
Now what we're doing here is we are adding this hot roast beef that we pulled out of the crock pot and kind of shredded a little bit, and very warm mashed potatoes, and we are adding them to freshly washed and cleaned out jars. We had used hot soapy water and went ahead and washed them out. We did not sterilize them. We simply used hot soapy water and washed very carefully, very well. So now we're going to go ahead and add the beef broth to the jars. Once we've added in the meat, we're going to do the same thing for the jars with the mashed potatoes. And you can see that we're filling them to about an inch headspace, which is that bottom ring at the bottom of the lip of the jar. So that's where we're going to fill everything to. Once we've filled everything up, we are then going to wipe off the rims to make sure everything is clean and nothing is in the way of that seal. We don't want anything to be on there, a crack or any kind of food still on that edge. Next, we're going to go ahead and add the jars to the canner. Now, once I got them in there, I noticed that I actually had room for one more. So we're going to go ahead and add one more here after we add the 8 cups of hot water. There's my 5th jar. We're going to go ahead and close this up, turn it, and we're going to set it to exhaust. And we don't actually put it on airtight yet. You go to exhaust first, and then we're going to come down here. We're going to go to high, and we're going to set that timer to 70 minutes at the 10 pounds of pressure. And let's start that up, hit start. And then you can see that even in the middle of it coming to pressure, it's steaming, and that's because it's exhausting. Now, you will hear one beep with this canner. I just heard that beep, and now it's on the exhaust. So it's going to exhaust for 10 minutes if I don't set it first. So I'm going to go ahead and catch it and switch it over to airtight. Now we are at the 10 pounds of pressure, but if you are higher elevation, you'll need to use the different weight. Now, it is finally beeped and it's cooked for 70 minutes. You can see that it's still on airtight, but it's still, pressure's coming out a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and unplug it. And now you can see it's been unplugged right there, and it's been sitting for an hour to kind of depressurize. Jacob's going to open it up, and you can see all the jars are still in there, kind of steaming and hot. Now Jacob's going to use a dish rag to go ahead and take these out. Having them in tightly, it's hard sometimes for that canning tongs. Oh look, a Green Acre mason jar. Reuse those jars, people, and go check out the Green Acre. They're awesome. Grabbing a second jar here. It's still boiling in there. And look, a canning mat from Country Mama Musings. Ooh, look at that. Go check out Alicia. And here's my third jar. Now this jar looks really, really full. And I'm not sure about that, whether it's gonna seal or not. So we really need to watch that jar and take a look at that later. You can actually see the mashed potatoes still bubbling up in there. And that is amazing because it's been sitting for at least an hour now, depressurizing. Now we noticed a little bit of siphoning over here. You can see that it's coming out, a little mashed potatoes. So we'll look at that later, but we're gonna clean these jars up when we're finished and go ahead and label them. So let's see what happens.
Okay, so we're back and I have taken, now we took the jars out earlier, and what I just did was I took all the rings out off the outside of the jars. I could probably have let them sit here longer, but most of them are actually cool to touch. And so what I decided to do was go ahead and just take the rings off and let them sit here for another hour or two until I go to bed. And then I'm going to go ahead and put them in my pantry. I will label them clearly so I know what it is, and then go ahead and wipe off that jars itself, just clean the jars before I put them in the pantry. Now I will not put them in with the rings because I do not want to create or keep a false seal. It's really important to not keep them on with the rings. I know, it's just a thing. Anyway, one thing I did want to point out was this jar had way too much liquid in it. The liquid obviously came a little bit further up than I wanted to, and so this did not seal. So you can see here that the seal appears to be fine, but oh, there's the seal. Apparently now it just now sealed. I'm not trusting it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this, oh, there you go. That seal is not sealed quite right. So I'm not gonna let that sit on the counter much longer. I'm gonna let it continue to cool the rest of the way. It's almost completely cool, but I'm gonna go ahead and clean the jar, put the ring on it tight enough, and just stick that in the fridge because that, see, I just created a seal. That's not gonna stick. The rest of the jars will be cleaned, put in my pantry for a later date. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Again, I am not an expert. This is just me doing something that I feel comfortable with doing and really putting it away for my family to enjoy for hopefully months to come. And this is something that you wanna do. I hope you have the courage to try it. The Nesco, there will be a link down in the description with my Amazon affiliate link, so you can go and check it out there. And I would highly encourage you that if you have not started putting things away for your family or for yourself or your friends or whoever you're taking care of besides your own self, I would highly encourage you to start doing that now. Leftovers, vegetables, fruits, whatever it is, get it put away and start stocking up on those things so that when there's not something or there's a time that there's not anything around, you will have something for yourself or for others or whoever, right? Anyway, don't forget to check out our other videos. There's gonna be a playlist, and there's gonna be a little card at the end here to lead you into another video if you want. Subscribe, like, all those things. And don't forget to stick around for the outtakes because, I mean, there's usually some sort of outtakes because there's always something fun happening here on the ranch. Until next time, who likes a good, wholesome meal in the cupboard ready to be eaten at any time? Farmers' wives do. See you next time. But they taste amazing. Okay, is it not recording? I'm gonna do a quick video if Joy will ever stop walking around the house. Joy, go lay down. Yeah. All right, well, that's a wrap.